So this next storm that we're watching could be maybe even stronger than the one we just saw that moved through. And we're going to get some severe weather with it today, some severe weather today too. But this next storm is pretty interesting looking. And I think this could bring a severe weather outbreak with all hazards. Extremely strong damaging winds, some huge hail, and maybe some strong tornadoes as well. A powerful jet streak is going to be swinging through this region too. That's going to aid in the development of those thunderstorms. We're also going to get a lot of instability too, being caused by a lot of moisture that's moving north. So it's going to be a tough situation, not just here from the Great Lakes all the way down the Mississippi Valley, the Ohio River Valley, and then further to the west, back across the southern plains here, I think even into parts of Texas. Again, this would be for Wednesday. There's also a threat of some strong storms today too. We're a lot cooler behind our system. Let's talk about what's going on right now. Colder temperatures across the Great Lakes. We've seen those numbers drop into Michigan, and we'll continue to stay cool, but it's not going to stick around very long. This area of low pressure that brought all the severe weather now moving into southeast Canada, the front draping to the south. It's swinging through the southeast and the mid-Atlantic today. That's going to bring the round of severe weather that I started a little bit here with today's video talking about. The highest chance for storms, it's really pushed out of Virginia. Now the Storm Prediction Center is looking at really the Virginia-North Carolina line south into Georgia as these storms fire up into the afternoon. Strong damaging winds, that's the main threat. Some hail, and you can't rule out a tornado in this area too. The tornado risk not extremely high. I would argue it might be a little bit lower than it looked yesterday, but still, nonetheless, watch out here from the southeast part of really South Carolina, North Carolina, as far west as the Piedmont, though, and then down into Georgia here, into parts of Florida with these severe thunderstorms and, again, a risk of some spin-up tornadoes. All right, tomorrow, our risk starts to expand out ahead of our next storm that starts to build here from Texas north all the way into Iowa and all the states in between, including Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, also going to be impacted with this too. As we head into the afternoon and evening hours, the risk would be with some tornadoes too. The highest risk across Oklahoma, Missouri, also into Kansas. And then we turn our attention to that next storm that starts to push out, or I guess the next progression of the storm. And some of this could happen late in the night, Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. So that's a concern, I think, with the next round. The timing of this looks a little iffy, but we'll have to keep an eye on this. Early in the forecast period, the Storm Prediction Center talks about how these thunderstorms will be going across parts of Kansas and Missouri. This would be early in this period here on Wednesday, and then some re-intensification is possible as these storms move toward the Great Lakes. So another active day as we watch this jet streak swing through in the mid and upper levels toward the Great Lakes. The thing is, this isn't going to move that far to the south and east, so there could be a repeating round of severe weather as more energy swings back here from the southwest, northeast in that flow. Let's look at the future radar. We'll start off with what's going on this Monday. We've got the strong storms going across the south through the morning hours. That will continue here into Alabama, Georgia, and then it will push east as we head into the afternoon and evening hours right here, especially across southern Alabama, North Florida, into southeast Georgia and South Carolina. This is where some of these intense storms could really form. And there could be some strong storms, too, moving through the southern Appalachians, although the strongest risk will be once these storms get east of the mountains here. Now we're looking really from Macon up to Greenville, Spartanburg, Charlotte. The storms will be knocking on your doors. We head towards the dinner time hour this evening, and then into the Piedmont of Virginia and North Carolina, from Greensboro north to Roanoke, Lynchburg, up to Charlottesville, up to D.C., Baltimore, and then here into eastern Pennsylvania. These storms will be moving through, so a noisy evening for sure with showers, thunderstorms, some heavy rain possible, and then this moves off to the east, and we're pretty much done with this storm for now. Temperatures on the way down behind our front. You can clearly see where that is. Numbers waking up as we head into Tuesday morning, a lot colder for many of you, back into the 30s from the Ohio Valley, 20s even below freezing up here into Ohio, Pennsylvania, and parts of Indiana. Further to the north, showers and storms, a lot quieter, though, across parts of Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. After a very active day yesterday and overnight, we're also quieting down across Tennessee and Kentucky. And there goes the storms, again, into the northeast, heading into the afternoon and evening hours today. Temperatures on the way down. Highs will be pretty chilly today. We're talking about below freezing in many areas, only squeaking out mid-40s for places like Indianapolis, Detroit, chilly here, and another cold morning on the way heading into Tuesday with numbers falling below freezing, single digits, and maybe some widespread teens and single digits, I should say, here across the UP of Michigan, where we have that fresh ice and snow on the ground still here after a significant winter storm. Into the northeast we go now. Showers and thunderstorms breaking out this afternoon. They'll start to get intense here, especially across central PA, southern New York. That will really pick up as we head into the evening hours, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So a squall line likely will develop, so we'll have to watch this for any damaging winds that develop along that line as it moves to the east. Moving toward the coast, it will likely start to weaken as we get toward that midnight hour, and then everything moves offshore as we move into Tuesday. Highs today will be early in the day for many of these areas, especially across western PA, western New York, because as the front moves through, that cold air builds in, numbers fall. We wake up tomorrow morning a lot colder than you wake up this morning, for sure. Across the Central Plains, let's look at the storm as we move into Wednesday. It's looking really impressive, but I'll back you up to where we are right now. So some quiet weather, cooler temperatures being pushed in. It's not going to last, though, as that low moves here into Colorado. I should say, really, it's not going to move. It's going to develop here ahead of our trough, which will be moving. That's the correct terminology, I guess. As that trough moves out of the Rockies, surface low pressure develops on the lee side of the mountains, and it's going to start to deepen rapidly. We're looking at a 985 millibar low here across Kansas. So not as low as we saw with a storm earlier this year, but still, that's a pretty strong storm. Again, aided by a significant amount of upper-level winds here, so your severe risk starts to go up. Tuesday, some strong storms possible, really Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Now we're looking at the Great Lakes. We're looking at down the Mississippi River Valley all the way into Texas, the Arklatex here of this region for some strong thunderstorms. And then that moves off to the east. And then look what happens here along the Red River region as we head toward now Thursday. Maybe another significant area of severe weather starting to develop and move north and east. This one may ride right along the Ohio River, and another storm behind this. A significant amount of rain falling here too, so flooding may be a concern that we're dealing with once we get toward the end of the week. And of course, with any strong thunderstorms, you're going to get a lot of rain. Temperature is much cooler across Missouri, Iowa, also Illinois, and further to the south into Arkansas too. You can see how that cold air pushing south. But look what happens. Out ahead of our trough that swings in, numbers start to go back up. So we're back up into the 70s, 80s, even 90s across southern parts of that's really hot. We're getting hot across southern parts of Oklahoma. I don't know if we're going to get quite that hot. That's modeled out on the GFS, which typically will overdo things. But here comes your front. It's pretty clear to see moving off to the east with our next storm as we head toward Wednesday and into Thursday. And across the southwest, a little bit unsettled here, especially across the Four Corner states, into the Wasatch, into the Rockies, some snow and some heavy snow here into the Sierra moving in by the time we get into Tuesday. This is all part of that next round of unsettled weather that will develop further to the east. It's also going to keep us unsettled here across the west too, with some rain and some snow, maybe even some snow into the mountains here up north toward Flagstaff, into parts of northern Arizona and northern New Mexico too. And then we stay cool. Temperatures dropping below average here. Warm today. We do begin this downward trend as we head through the next couple of days. Even Phoenix seeing highs only near 60. Further to the northwest, onshore flow prominent here. We'll keep the rain and the snow going today. Could be heavy at times, especially into the mountains, and there could be some flooding concerns with that heavy rain too. And then more heavy snow moving into northern California on Tuesday as that low pretty much slams here into the west. Cold air aloft, it's going to drop those snow levels down with numbers on the way down. We're talking about highs today. There they are. Variable depending on where you are. Well below freezing into the Sierra. Cold here into the Intermountain West. Boise, though, pushing up near 50. If you look out as we head into tomorrow, very similar on our temperatures. Well, here we go. Here's where we're going to be tomorrow. Temperature is not dropping a whole lot, but still staying cold here across the west, at least below normal for this time of year. All right, that was a lot today. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.